How y'all doing? Um, I've, should I stay or should I go? Stop it. Are the most frequent questions I ever get from women on here. And typically there are two varieties. Not always, but typically. The one I get the most often is I get a long list of things he hasn't done or refused to do, or and then a longer list of all the ways she's tried to make it better. I've decided not to do this, do that, and no matter how much I do, and in fact, even the more I do, the kinder he is to me. Should I stay or should I go? He's a good father or he's a good provider. And then I get another one that says, he's a good dude and everything, but gee whiz, I just don't, I'm not in love with him. So, should I stay because he's really a good guy and treats me well, or should I go and find true love? Now, I'm going to answer that second one first. Grass is always greener. That's number one. Well, no, that isn't number one. Let me tell you what number one is. Number one is I never tell anybody to leave or go because I ain't got that kind of power, and I should hope no one would give me that kind of power. Well, they did on divorce court, but that was different. We were doing a thing. I had books on them and all this. What I'd like to do is suggest what questions you ought to ask yourself before you make your call, because everybody typically likes to, okay, these are all the things he does, or either all the things I do. Given all of that information, should I leave or go? But given all that information, have you assessed it correctly? Is the first question. So when I get the ones from women who, should I go? He's wonderful, but I don't want to leave. Number one, the fact that you're writing me means, if it was really something you truly wanted to do, you have to ask yourself, why are you asking? Are you asking because you feel guilty about leaving when you're not happy? Are you asking because you're really not sure you should leave? Are you asking because it might hurt the children? You have to ask why you're asking, because there's something holding you up. You don't need a permission slip to leave somebody, but you do have to ask yourself, not is it right if I go or stay, it's which set of problems do I want to solve. Now, the woman who's got the great husband, what problem is she solving? She's solving a romance flutterheart problem, it appears to me. I don't know. Now, she wasn't there. So I couldn't cross-examine her, and I would ask, well, you got somebody else? Or you're looking over the corner? See, because if you're looking over the corner at somebody else, that is a whole different set of questions you have to ask yourself. Is this solid? Is this real? People are really good about selling themselves in the beginning, and then when you get them home, it's like, woo, So you have to ask yourself all of the questions that are necessary. You have to ask yourself, if I go and find nobody else, is that a problem for me? If I go and I lose all of these positive things in my life, what problems am I going to create? And if I don't go, and I'm living in a state of ongoing distress, how's that going to feel? You always have to balance out the question. And the question isn't balance out why do you feel the way you do? Because you might think you feel, I often in divorce court, people thought there was this one young lady, I'll try to find the tape, but she was just dissatisfied. She thought everything was wrong with him and everything was wrong with her. The problem wasn't him. The problem is she was probably mildly depressed and very unhappy and dissatisfied with her life. And she couldn't figure out what she was dissatisfied about, so she picked him because he was the closest thing to look to. And that's one of my mother's rules. You usually pick the people to blame based upon who you don't like or what's the easiest kill. And your brain does it without you logically thinking about it. And sometimes you end up there and you don't mean to end up there. So that's what that is. So you have to ask yourself all those questions. Why am I dissatisfied? What am I looking to get? What are the odds I'm going to get it? Uh, are you looking for a different kind of love? Or, deeper still, can you work on the marriage that you have? Yeah, now he's not doing anything bad. Why can you reignite some new love? Can you tell him you're bored and want some more excitement? Could you figure out a way to make all this wonderful really make you happy again? Or maybe you're not dissatisfied with him. Maybe you're dissatisfied with your life. You don't feel purposeful. You don't feel good. And it's easier to say somebody's causing my problems other than I have a problem of my own that I don't know how to solve and I don't know what to do with. So you have to ask yourself all those questions. If you are asking me, should I leave this dude that does everything so well? Or have you got caught up in an algorithm that is teaching you, all of this what a high value man is? Oh, God bless you. But if you can get along with somebody long term on a lot of levels, that means an awful lot. I did not love my husband every year, nor did he love me every year. There were years, as I often tell people, I would have given him away to any waiting woman for $1, and she might have got some change, and I'm quite sure that brother would have given me away for free. So, but we fought through it. And I saw this couple one time tell me the most, that didn't tell me, they were just saying it to an interview. They'd been married like 78 years, and someone said, what's the secret to it? And he said, we never fell out of love at the same time. You fall in and out of love because things are happening, things are going on. And I don't think, one of the things that I think that was very true about us, we never fell out of love at the same time, and we were always willing to fight. So I'm not saying fighting is the way to go. What I'm saying is understanding the reasons why you feel the way you do is very important, and accurately assessing what it is you seek and what it is that doesn't feel good to you right now. Now, here's the other question that I get much more often is, I get a long list of all the things that he doesn't do, the mean things that he does say, and I'm doing this is for women, and I'm gonna tell you why, because men never write me about that. Men don't write me most of all, so I'm just answering what I got. I'm not men this that. I don't believe in all of that. I'm telling you what I see, and I'm answering the questions I get. But anyway, so a long list of all of that, and then all the things she's tried to do to make him happier, and it seems the more she tries, the less happy he is, and I don't want to go. He's a decent guy, but I feel so unfulfilled and unloved. I don't quite know what to do. Now, that's you getting stuck in a lopsided relationship. And my husband and I's relationship got lopsided for a minute. When we first moved out here and I was doing all this TV stuff, two TV shows, and he was home, he got a little crunchy, And I thought the best way to meet his crunch was with anything you want, baby, anything you want, baby, anything you want, baby, anything you want, baby. And there were two things that brought it together. But one October I was saying, well, why am I trying to find a restaurant he likes on my birthday? And then I realized, oh crap, we've gotten to the habit of I'm supposed to please him. And anytime he's not pleased, he now sees it as my fault. Like he didn't have the business he wanted, but it's my fault. And I didn't figure that out till I was watching Divorce Court. And I saw some women doing the same thing. And then I talked to my mother and I figured out that's what we were doing. And what happened was, when you teach people that they can get what they want all of the time by simply expressing their displeasure, or you're trying to please them, they begin to believe that they're entitled to that. And when you don't give it to them, it's like when you give people money sometimes, and the first time you say no, they just get outraged, like, oh my God, how could she do it? So oftentimes it's not necessarily it's not something they decided to do. It's something they end up doing because it always works. You get a little angry, then you get a little better. Or he gets meaner, you get nicer. He's less attentive, you make better dinners. So you're chasing the wrong result, possibly. Now he just could be a jerk and need to go. I don't know. But I'm laying out the different processes and procedures that you could look for. Now, if it's that situation where you guys just got into a thing where you're arguing yourself down into a more, you have to put your turn signal on, the turn signal requirement. I think that's in my mother's rules somewhere, and say, look, calmly, coolly, when nothing else is going on, I'm unhappy. I've tried very hard. I love you very much, and I've tried very hard to A, B, C, and D. It doesn't seem to be working. I do need from you, boom, like, could you stop? I don't think you see how much you criticize my cooking. I just made that up. Could you stop? I'm doing the best I can. Or pick. No, I'm on.
Talking about your cooking.
Yeah. But I'm on a video, honey. So my son came in here. Now, since you've come in here, you got to go get in front of the camera one time. Come on, Negro. Come on. You messed up.
Yeah, her cooking, atrocious. Very atrocious. She's not lying about that. She's not. Damn. Okay.
Get out of here and take the dogs with you. Did you hear him talking about my cooking? Lord have mercy. But anyway, you figure out what it is you really, one or two things that you really need, and you ask for that. And then once you get those one or two things that you really need, you see how you feel. Do I need a few more? Or is it not working? Or okay, I got those few things, and then I'm gonna wait a little while and get some more few things. And now the boy just closed the door on me, like my talking to you is getting on his nerves in my house, which he lives in for free. I'm just saying. But anyway, wait a minute. Excuse me. I'm forever catching a cold these days. So anyway, so you rest in that for a while. You rest in it. You see how it works. You rest in it. And then I said, you pick something else. And then you pick another thing. And then maybe, like I was always scurrying about trying to make sure this, and this was done. And when I decided to change, I stopped one of my scurries. And I can't remember which one it was. It was either... And he noticed that I wasn't doing this little special thing for him anymore. And he goes, yeah, so what is this? So you just decided? I said, no, hon. I said, I love doing nice things for you, but I've been so unhappy lately, and it doesn't seem to make you any happier. It doesn't seem to fulfill you. I worked hard to do it, but it doesn't seem to make you any happier. You were unhappy with me all day yesterday. All you did is this. So I thought, why should I? I'm wasting my time. If I could do something to make you happy, you can be a little nicer to me. That would be nice. Tell me what it is and I'll do it. And if the dude is cool, and my dude was, he walked away thinking, now, of course, he didn't say, I'm sorry. They don't do that. Well, he don't do that. But he changed his behavior slowly but surely. It was a back and forth. Stand this ground, take this back, stand this ground, take this back, stand this ground, take this back. And then give him something unexpected. Like when he was just a little bit nicer, he got some of the good thing during the day one day. Because I was rewarding him for, unexpected good thing during the middle of the day. And I was like, yeah, this is the brother I like. And it's slowly but surely we figured our way back. Now, that may not be what's happening with her or with you. It may be a person who is narcissistic, selfish, unconcerned. But you've got to separate their behavior from how they feel about their behavior. And you also need to look at, is he talking to me like this and not everybody else, or is he talking to everybody else like this? Because that might mean certain different things are going on. But one, you should never ask somebody if they should leave or stay. I remember one time I saw this guy on a show. This woman called in and she said she should leave. And he goes, "You're whispering because it's dangerous, right?" Yeah. And so then he had a producer call the police where she was. And to But the thing was, he didn't have the right to do that without letting her know first, because if you are in a domestic abusive an abusive an abusive domestic violence situation, leaving or letting you know they're going to leave is the most dangerous time. So you have to be prepared. You have to have your ducks in a row. Maybe she didn't have anywhere to go, so she'd be there after the police were there. He didn't know enough to interfere that way. He could have gotten her hurt. And the only reason I know that is I do a lot of domestic violence work. I did it on the bench. And on the bench, it was like too little, too late. I was doing mop up, so I found a woman here named, and I'm gonna talk to her one day. She's brilliant. Her name is Donna Bartos, and she's dealing with Bloom 365. We used to go into schools and teach the young people, not only teaching Susie what the signs of abuse are, but teaching Bobby or Susie, because it could be anybody, not to become an abuser. Signs that you um, are heading in that direction. And she's done a lot of research, and we've had our But anyway, I got off track. My apologies. Do that a lot. But anyway, so I'm just saying, ask yourself a lot of questions. And I had a lot of in the book I wrote, Making Marriage Work, and I just wanted to say, wait a minute. You got to know what looks dangerous, though. If it looks dangerous, call a domestic violence agency and just talk. And don't call from your phone, call from somebody else's phone. And just talk about what comfort you are. But I'm not dealing with that right now. I'm just talking about people who are in unhappy relationships. Should I stay or should I go? The third question you ask is there something I can do within the context of this relationship that will make this relationship good enough for me to be in? And if that's not true, then you do have the right to go, and you don't need anybody's permission. You don't have to be a certain kind of beat up before you can go. You can go if there's no love and it's oppressing your spirit and all that kind of stuff. But make sure it staying or going. Neither one of them is going to be a right decision unless you're in an abusive situation. But we're not talking about that right now. Staying or going is not the only question. The question is, how can I adjust? What is my third option? And staying or going isn't a uniform. Isn't right or wrong. It's deciding which set of problems you want to solve. If you stay in a relationship where you're not really loved and cared for, you have the problem of your self-esteem and your joy. Now, there's also a possibility of getting your joy elsewhere. When you go out and start doing things, I started going out and playing tennis. And the weird thing is, when you start finding your joy elsewhere and they stop seeing you chasing their love, they tend to stop making you chase it so much, because they see, she can be happy. It helps to have breath, so people don't think that they are your only option. But it's always about deciding which set of problems you want to solve. If you leave, you have economic, co-parenting, all kinds of those kind of issues you want to solve. If you're not, if you stay, then you have emotional issues that you have to resolve, and there are different means by which to resolve all of them. So maybe you should pick the set of problems that are most fixable in your circumstance and help that balance out whether I should stay or should go, because neither one of them is going to be a dead bang winner decision. It's just about which set of problems you would like to solve, or which set of joys you want to save. That's my 10 cents worth. Plus an interruption from the dog and the kid. Y'all have a great day.